And so, I'm reviewing the MCU. All of it. Start to finish. I'm going through the series in chronological timeline order, not release order. Why? Because I felt like doing it that way, and it's fun. Anyway, expect one of these every day or two, building up to the theatrical release of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I may even throw a few quote-unquote non-canonical Marvel movies in there too, just for shits and giggles. Anyway, we'll see. Today, it's What If? The MCU's first official animated venture, a 9-episode anthology of segments that posit alternate scenarios for all your favorite Marvel heroes and their worlds, as the Marvel Multiverse is finally born. The series was developed by A.C. Bradley, and all episodes were directed by Brian Andrews. Most of the MCU regulars and supporting players on contract provide the voices for these versions of their characters. Let's take a look.
I am the Watcher. I observe all that transpires here, but I do not, cannot, will not interfere. Journey to face the unknown and ponder the question.
What If started life as a speculative comic book series that took everyone's favorite Marvel heroes and placed them into wild, alternate scenarios. And I don't really follow the intricacies of the lore, so I'm not sure if any of that stuff ever became an official part of the actual Marvel Comics mythology or not, and whatever. I think from a creative standpoint, it was just a way for comic artists and writers to play around with their toys. But naturally, when this concept was transferred into the MCU, it obviously has to mean something, right? And so here we have the first MCU animated series, which posits basically that all these wild speculations are in fact real. Well, real in the MCU sense, of course. Real as in canon. In other words, all of these alternate scenarios are in fact alternate universes, other versions of our favorite characters in parallel worlds of the mighty Marvel multiverse, or whatever. And that's all neither here nor there. This is all fantasy at the end of the day, so whatever they want. And making it animated helped them cut down somewhat on the budget, since doing all of these things live action probably would have cost them a shitload of money that they have, but would probably prefer to spend on other things or spread around or whatever. In any case, what results of this endeavor is, like the comic book series that inspired it, a mixed bag. Some of these stories are better than others, which I suppose should be expected out of a 9-episode anthology of half-hour animated segments. And it's stuff like, what if Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? And the answer to that is, well, she'd be a better Captain Superhero than he was. Or, what if Yondu had kidnapped T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? What if T'Challa were Star-Lord? And the answer to that is, well, he'd be a better Star-Lord than the original one was. And I mean, this is an animated series put out in 2021. You get the idea. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that in and of itself. Do what you want, Marvel. They're your characters and your stories. What matters is that those stories be interesting. And, well, these particular ones I mentioned, it's like they didn't really get past the premise, so they're kind of bland. They just feel like 30-minute summarized versions of their respective movie counterparts with the protagonists switched around. It's kind of just okay. And don't get me started on the boring episode about the zombies. Again with the fucking zombies. The best segments are the darkest episodes. One involving a tragic time puzzle for Doctor Strange, the other positing a theory of what would happen if all of the Avengers had just fucking died before having a chance to actually form the Avengers. And then bits and pieces of all the stories kind of converge into the 2-part series finale that I think is meant to set the stage for some major happenings in the upcoming films. The art style is pretty good. It's a bit heavy metal, a bit Ralph Bakshi, it pops. The voice acting is pretty good too. You have a mixture of actual MCU regulars and impersonators for the ones they didn't want to pay anymore now that their contracts were up. But everyone showed up and gave it their all, speaking into that microphone. Basically, it is what it is. I can't imagine anyone would actually want to sit down for 5 hours or whatever it is and actually binge through the whole thing, but maybe you don't have to. It's the kind of thing you can throw on in the background or watch it on your phone while doing your morning business on the porcelain throne. Take your pick. And ultimately, if you only watch the 3 or 4 genuinely good episodes, you'll probably be good to go. Hey, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel and share the video. There's going to be some cool stuff coming to the channel, so you're going to want to keep track of it, and I hope you like all that stuff too. See ya.